When I look back at Clint, he looked so lost.
Oh, I know. It hurts you to see him go like that.
I feel as if the wind has been knocked out of me.
Well, you just, even though it's hard, you gotta have faith in what will be, Jenny. I know that you want to hold on to things because it's safe. But you are going to have to fight for Clint. Do you hear me? And I know that you don't want to let him go or tie him down. But you're just going to have faith that he is coming back to you. Do you hear me?
I love him so very much, though. And I do not want him to love me out of guilt. We must both want this life together.
Oh, and I know it hurts you to find out that he still loves his wife, but he isn't going to be fighting his family again, I bet.
May? That's the very strange part about my feelings for Clint. I really do understand the turmoil that he is experiencing now. You see, all those many years ago, I loved Randolph very deeply. But somehow I understood that we were simply not meant to be, and so I made a choice and I put it behind me. And the past cannot be reclaimed. Nor can the future.
The future?
Yes. Future hopes, dreams of what may be.
Yeah, well, I say today is all we have to hold on to, the here and now, and that's all that matters.
Well, I do agree with you. But I most sincerely hope that Clint's journey will help him to realize that, because now he is clinging so desperately to something that he once had, and I know that he will find no peace at all till he can put what he had, or what might be, behind him, and build a life here for himself, a life that hopefully will include me.
It's just not right that you have to suffer like this.
I will manage. I think being alone all those years gave me the strength to survive. What I have great difficulty with now is the realization of how I have added to his pain by forcing him to choose between wanting to stay and needing to go.
You ought to be getting yourself some rest. Look at you. You look exhausted.
I really couldn't sleep. I tried. I tossed and turned. I must have kicked the covers off a dozen times. So I finally got dressed.
Clint?
Yes. May, every time I close my eyes, I keep thinking of all the pain I'm causing him.
Jenny, now you got to get that out of your mind. He's a grown man, and he knew what he was getting into.
No, I encouraged him. And I somehow knew from the very beginning that he would never be mine because he belongs to another woman, in another time, in another place.
But I would tell you all the trouble that Cody and I had before we got married.
Well, you only told me that he worked for Buck.
Oh, but there was more to it than that. He and I were just from completely different worlds. He was raised with the gun. Violence, that's the only way he knew how to deal with his problems. And, Jenny, I was raised with peace and harmony, you know, the things that come from working on the land. There's more to farming than just tilling and plowing. It's that realization that you can never harvest what you haven't sown.
As ye sow, so shall ye reap.
That's right, exactly. And I have lived with that for my whole life. But Cody, boy, I tell you, he could never understand how in the world we could be so deeply in love with each other and still be so different. And then Clint came. And he showed Cody that there was more to it than dealing with your problems with a six-shooter, that there were deeds and words. And that's all a man needed.
But it takes a very special man to resist raising his fist in anger and to realize that honesty and sincerity are truly all that's needed.
Well, that's what I keep trying to tell you. Clint is a very special man. He got Cody and me together. And I know that he's going to come to realize that your worlds aren't that far apart, and he's going to be coming back to you. And especially if you get some fire under you and go and fight for him like I've been telling you.
Your analogy is very pertinent. I have sown the seeds of love in Clint's heart, but now I must be patient and wait to see what will happen. I only wish that I could be as sure as you are, May, about what I shall harvest.
Well, You're not going to lose him. I know that much.
Oh, May, you are such a dear friend.
Why don't you let me warm you up some milk? It'll relax you and you can get some sleep.
No, I'm going to go for a walk under the stars. It helps me to think clearly when I know that I am at least a small part of God's creatures.
Yeah. Well, take your shawl, because it's getting a little chilly tonight.
Yes, I will. And you must get some sleep, because remember, you are also sleeping for two.
How can I forget that? Well, good night. And don't you worry about anything, because Clint's going to figure this whole deal out.
Good night, May.
Good night.
Kind of late to be going out for a ride, but I gotta get some answers. I gotta find somebody, and he seems to be the only one that knows what's going on around here. To be honest, I'm in desperate need of some answers.
Weren't you even going to say goodbye?
What'd you think?
You are preparing to go for a ride.
I need to do some thinking. I need some answers.
Out in the desert?
I want to try and find Clear Eyes. He's the only one that seems to know what's going on with me.
Are you going to ask him to help you get back to your future?
I have to, Jenny. If I don't try to get back one more time, I'd never be free.
Then this may very well be the last time that we shall ever see each other.
You'll always be in my heart.
I shall always remember the touch of your hand, so strong and so gentle.
You're a beautiful woman, Jenny. With so much to offer. More than any man deserves. I never meant to hurt you. Please believe me.